Will Beringer is an athlete, an outdoorsman, and a veteran. But in July 2021, his life changed in an instant. An accident left him paralyzed from the waist down.
Since then, Will has found new ways to stay active through Sportable, an adaptive sports club that's helped him connect, compete, and give back through outreach programs in the community. Our showcase features videographer Brad Vassar sat down with Will to hear his inspiring story.
I've made a pretty good group of friends here. It was kind of hard for me at first, being able to come home and establish like a new community, doing the same kind of things you do. It's pretty big in life. My name's Will Beringer and I'm a paraplegic. It's kind of hard to get like back to a sense of normalcy. When you're out there kind of like either working out or playing a sport, you do get to just kind of like forget about it for a little bit, and you just kind of feel normal again for a little bit, and you know, all those endorphins released, you feel great afterwards, and you know, it just makes you feel better. Especially for me as like a paraplegic, you can't just, you know, go on a run. You need a lot of specialized equipment. A lot of times I was pretty active. So I was active duty in the Navy, so you know, kind of like had to be standard active, but I played like a little bit of sports here and there, and like worked out regularly, kept in shape. Being able to hop out here reliably once a week and go for a couple hours and get, you know, crazy tired is pretty good for you.
Nice shot.
Sportable is Central Virginia's premier adaptive sports club. We have been providing adaptive sports and recreation opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities and visual impairment since 2005. Will is one of our Sportable athletes and a Sportable Athlete Ambassador alumni. Our Athlete Ambassador program highlights varying athletes who are part of Sportable's programs to go out into the community and help with outreach. So Athlete Ambassadors will go to schools as well as rehab hospitals and help with programs that we do for outreach. And Will has been a really phenomenal athlete for us. Besides, he's just a joy to have around because he's really funny and really interactive and just a rascal. But Will has really taken to lacrosse. That's his favorite sport, and he is really good at pickleball as well as wheelchair tennis. He participated in our River City Slam tournament back in June, and is really continuing to grow in the tennis program as well.
Sportable is pretty great because I think especially being in a wheelchair, it's hard to get out and do a lot of physical activity. Once you're kind of like in a situation like this where, you know, day-to-day life becomes more limited. Like a lot of my day-to-day is limited due to pain, so being able to come out here and be able to do cardio when you're able to do it makes that much more of an impact, because if Sportable wasn't here, I don't think I'd be able to work out and have this social life and meet these friends. That'll be fair. I was 21 years old when I lost my legs. I fell off a third-story balcony at a friend's house and fell all the way to the ground and shattered 2 vertebrae, 4 ribs, punctured a lung, died twice. I fell all the way to the ground and I hit in like a seated position, and then I fell backwards. But when I hit the ground, and like I kind of woke up a little bit because it like knocked me out, it kind of feels like it felt like everything below, like right here on my ribs, was like stuck in the ground. Like you just, like, you know when you get buried in the sand and like you're not moving, you can't go anywhere? Like I can't explain it, but it feels like you were like sunk in the ground somehow. Cause like, you know, it's instant. Like you're not moving, none of that ever again. I was about 50-50 on the table up until I was through surgery, and I was in a coma for about a week after that, and I got super lucky, got into a great rehab facility up in Chicago. Was there for about a month and a half. They did think I was an incomplete, which has like possibilities of recovery to like some degrees, you know, but it took them all the way until I was like 2 months out of rehab and back home at the VA, and then my doctor took a look at it and was like, ooh, gonna have to reclassify you. And so it was more about recovery and getting used to and adapted to this way of life, as opposed to like recovering your ability to walk afterwards. And then I came home and I lived with my parents for a good 3 years, and just this past year moved out for the first time. I got super lucky and had like a lot of people in the area with like Sportable who like had been through the exact same kind of things. It was like a wheelchair user, so I got to really have other people like help me get set up in that, which is really nice. Some days are better than others, but you know, there's some days you dwell on it and try not to dwell on it and do other things, but it's definitely easy to, you know, get into a rut. You can absolutely pity yourself, and you can do it whenever you want, but you only get 5 minutes, and then you have to pick yourself up and go do something about it, you know? You can't wallow forever. Feel those feelings, but you know, don't let them control you. Don't sit in them, don't marinate. You know, once you get out there and your heart's pumping and everything, it's super easy to get focused on the game and not really have to worry about so much external things going on. Like, it's kind of hard to find activities that take away like some of the pain, and you know, it still hurts, but you know, while you're playing, it's real easy to get lost in the moment, which is nice.
Being able-bodied is a privilege and something that we're only in temporarily. You could acquire a disability at any point, and so it is a privilege to be able-bodied, and at some point, I think almost everyone will be impacted in some way by a physical disability. And I think that's really important and something to really think about and sit with, and being able to provide opportunities for individuals with physical disabilities and give them a sense of belonging and inclusion is really important. You know, because you acquire a disability does not mean that your life stops, and we want to be able to be there for individuals and provide them with opportunities and really transform their lives. I get kind of choked up about it.
Inspire. It sounds nice when you hear it, you know, but like I'm just kind of doing my own thing, you know. Like I'm not doing anything inspiring. I'm just kind of like living my own life. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just doing what I would have to do to survive at this point.